Alright, morning all. Today we are working on a John Deere Gator for our local police department, Webb City Police Department. It's green, had an ugly wrap on it, got it all stripped down, and now we are going to paint it white. And then it's going to go get restickered after it gets painted white. We don't really spend a lot of time in here in the booth talking about stuff, but we can talk about it today. There we go. So in doing this, I learned a lot about doing restorations. We don't do a whole bunch of plastic parts. And so we got the lowdown on Bully Dog Adhesion Promoter doing this project. And that's some amazing stuff. You can mix it in with your 2K product, your sealers or your clears. You don't need to put it in your base coat. And it makes it flexible so it won't crack. And when we're reading up on the product, it could even be used as an intercoat clear. So that's pretty cool. It's not very often you learn new things, but so this is it's a sponsorship to the Webb City Police Department. We're gonna paint the Gator for them, donate the work to the city. There's more than one way to do anything, and like early on, starting off, it was very my way or the highway. So we get these patterns or rituals built up because that's what we're comfortable with. Not everybody needs to do it your way to get the same quality. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. This is just a good example of, I like to wet the floor down in the booth. It's my opinion that I have less dirt when I wet the booth down. I've been doing it for so long, it's just what works for me. Doesn't necessarily work for everybody. Always a give and a take on whether to wet the booth down or whether not to wet the booth down. I'm not squeegeeing the water out, I'm spreading it around with a broom so I have an even thin layer of water on the floor. I don't want puddles that will splash. I just want it damp. So we didn't over wet it. We're not pooling it up. We're just basically scrubbing the floor to get a nice even wet damp coat on it. Now, as long as you don't get the water on the parts you're painting, there's no real bad reason for not wetting the booth down. The paint might, in high humidity, the paint skims over. So, but the humidity of the humidity in the air versus the humidity I'm putting on the shop floor by doing this is almost nothing. So I like wetting the floor down. It's like a layer of glue that sticks the dirt to it. No, there's lots of, like these are plastic pieces. And they're very staticky. So they are more prone to getting dirt in them. So it's just a good extra measure to control dirt. You can see the booth walls are got some overspray on them. That's not good. That's a bad habit. It's okay to hang a sheet of paper up and test on that, but it really makes the booth look bad, and it actually puts dark spots in the booth, so you don't see it as good when you're painting. So that being said, a completely clean booth doesn't work either. There's a seasoning to it, like a good frying pan. So if you were to paint the walls in here and replace all the filters, the first paint job would be pretty dirty. It needs a couple of primer sessions to glue everything together to get a good season on the booth after a good cleaning. So the filters are pretty dirty, but it's not trash and paint jobs. We put the water down, our dirt's pretty good. So the biggest thing with dirt, like with the wet floor in this environment, is the static, and it's going to be how I move around the parts. So we've got the booth floor prepped. As you can see, no real standing puddles. It's good enough. We are going to, I'm going to put some gloves on, and I'm going to dry wipe all the plastic pieces. You don't want to use a solvent-based cleaner on plastic, or really any cleaner. They've been scrubbed with hot soapy water, and they've been Scotch-Brited with it's called Scuff It, and it helps open up the pores in the plastic. And we're gonna go to our Bully Dog adhesion promoter from here, and we're gonna videotape the whole process. So we'll be right back with putting the adhesion promoter on. Or do you want to go through? Would you guys like to see the prep process? It's probably pretty simple, simpler than what you would think. So let's just go ahead and do the whole process, prep process and all. We're just going to unfold it completely. And we're going to let this hang for 5 to 10 minutes. There's a resin that this is covered in. I don't know if you can see my fingertip is shiny. Here it stick. There's a resin that's on this, and it needs a little bit of air time to tack up before you go wiping on the part, or you could transfer the resin onto the part, and then it could cause a print. It could cause a darkening of the color. It could change the color. So we're just going to let that air out and tack up. And I'm actually going to grab an old tack rag, and we're going to do the first wipe with it. And then we're going to go back and hit the new tack rag on it. What we're trying to get up is, I don't know if you can see, there's just a little residue of the Scuff It left, even though they've been scuffed and Scotch-Brited and power washed. Like that right there. Just where it puddled up, and that tack cloth just takes that off. That's just exactly what we're looking for. All right, there's a scuff in the embedded parts in the plastic. It's nothing that's going to come off, and sanding it to get it out would make it hairy. We don't want to stand the plastic up on its edge. There was a repair spot right there and a repair spot right there that the was underneath the vinyl wrap. We just put a little bit of adhesion promoter on it and put the adhesion promoter in the sealer and sprayed that on there yesterday, and this morning we come in and sanded it down. And we'll make sure we get all nooks and crannies in the holes. It's boring. This would probably be something that we could, other than talking about it, we could speed it up.